Sure. Thank you.
What is everybody? I'm going to start with a boom, a bang. Here you go.
Perfect. Okay, let's switch gears for just a minute. During the course of your work, did you make contact with the Idaho Department of Transportation to talk about some of the cameras that cover main roads coming into and out of Moscow?
Yes.
And did you attempt to make preservation of any items?
Yeah.
What items did you want preserved?
I was trying to see if they had saved video or still images from those spots
What did you learn?
that they do not retain those.
Did you, when you say they do not retain those, do you mean they don't retain videos or pictures or both?
Both.
Did you do a preservation for anything?
Not recall studying actually the preservation letter out.
Okay. Your Honor, if I can have another exhibit.
So these are emails that I was trying to find some kind of contact information for windy.com, the website that does weather-related information, as well as has some links to images from cameras that are covering the highway.
And did you learn that you could have some still shots preserved?
I did.
Did you have some still shots preserved?
I did not.
Okay. Your Honor would move for admission of defendants PP.
PP.
That's what, I'm sorry, PP?
Double P, yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
PP.
Exhibit PP is exhibit or admitted, no objection.
When we started talking, we talked about you kind of being the guy that would book or take videos in from different agencies, even if you didn't verify what was on the device you received. Is that right?
Yes.
And
He's the video guy, Maury. Maury would collect all the videos from all the different agencies, anybody that was doing neighborhood canvases, anybody that would come in contact with surveillance cameras. Maury. It would go to Maury. Well, what was one of the leaks on Dateline? Camera. 1112 footage. Put that there. Next. Ready?
do you, I have a specific one that a couple of them I want to ask you about. One is from Red Star Coffee Shop.
There it is.
Do you recall receiving that video?
I did not.
Okay.
Red.
And
You guys want to know what's right next door to that location? Well, first of all, that's a really big, important location. Ann Taylor is talking about the exit points, and that's what this live is about. Is that the jury is going, it's like in the Karen Reed case, with the number one question I think that's going to be asked by the jury is, yep, okay, you're going to have this sheath with this touch DNA, but all the focus that went into the car, right? Well, the car had to leave. The car had to leave Moscow, Idaho, to be Brian Kohlberger's car, to be this defendant's car. Where is it? Don't you think authorities, if they knew that they were looking for that car so early on in the investigation, that they would have had all these exit point cameras, meaning businesses that are located, the northern point, the southern point, east, west, every which way to get out of Moscow, Idaho. I'm telling you, law enforcement always has this anyways, because they team up with local businesses and they're notorious for getting camera footage from certain businesses for things of this nature, which is we want to be able to catch somebody if they're getting out of Dodge, if they're leaving. So you have this white car that manages to get on all these surveillance cameras for 35, 40 minutes, 45 minutes straight. And then poof, it's never seen again. So much so that they said that it comes back that morning and it's not on camera. When they want to say that the car comes back when Kohlberger hits on the tower. But yet, now next to, I'll send this to myself. But I don't know if you guys, if you take your little phone and go ahead and type in, if you use Google Maps, go to your Google Map and type in Red Star Coffee Company. Type that in. And when you zoom in, okay, it's right next to a gas station. These little coffee shops they have are like pop-up shops. It's really interesting. The first time I ever saw that, or these was when I went and visited Idaho. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like Jitters and all these coffee places, they're like tiny. They're little just like drive-throughs. But right next to, so the internet can get buzzing, right next to Red Star Coffee Company, by the way, dogs are allowed, is Bitcoin Deposit Bitcoin ATM. So there you go. You can just run along with that. Want to throw some Bitcoin love at all those Bitcoin coiners. But anyways, the Red Star Coffee Company is literally just a little pop-up shop, and you can if you're going and getting out and going back over to Pullman, that's right where you would pass. So guess who got the footage for this Red Star Coffee Company? Guess who went out and got it? None other than the Idaho State Police. We're going to hear it right here, but the guy who was in charge and had access to all of the surveillance footage, Maury. Everybody would send him. He never looked, though, at the contents of the videos, as he testified to. He never verified what was on them. He just gathered them, and everybody would send them to him from all the different agencies. What was on Dateline again? What else did Maury have?
Brought in by Idaho State Police.
Oh, right there.
Are you aware that it was booked in or brought in by Idaho State Police?
No.
How would I find out about those videos?
I don't know. You'd have to go through the USB drives to find out what was given. I was just given the mass USB drives. I was not given them individually by the people that were bringing them in for time. Given to them after it had been handed off to other investigators and other assistants that were helping big copies.
Is there somebody else I should ask about specific ones to track where they went?
I don't know. I don't have that information.
Who would?
Okay. All right, give me just a minute, Your Honor.
Sure.
Okay. So right there, we actually find out who. So he plays dumb. I don't know who you would go and see. I have no idea. What are you talking about? Just 2 seconds earlier, you are the guy that is in charge of getting, everyone brings you the footage. And then he's like, well, yeah, but also you could take it to the evidence custodial, the person that's in charge of the evidence locker, evidence room. The Ann Taylor straight up says, where can I get this? Where can I get this? How do you fucking not know? How do you not know? How do you not know? Okay. I also went ahead and took a little peek at this. What if Brian Culver said, I went over there and got coffee in the morning on whatever day, Sunday morning. You'll see me getting coffee. So the jurors are going to say to themselves, I mean, you have to think that Ann Taylor's going to go this route. They say that this vehicle is Special Vehicle 1. It belongs to my client, yet they do not have it leaving Moscow. Did it fly out of there? Did it up and fly out of there? How do you not have it on camera? Like, you have it pinned down to like literally the minute to like 5 minute, like to get the hell out of there. How do you not have this vehicle on any camera after hightailing it out and around the leaving the murder scene? Well, so if you're Ann Taylor, you say, well, because the vehicle never originated out of anywhere other than Moscow. That vehicle is from there. That vehicle never leaves the area and gets out of Dodge because it stayed. And now logically, you think, you go back in a deliberating room and you talk about that. And how would you feel as a juror to say, like, yeah, like, where is this vehicle at? We have all this surveillance. You don't think that Ann Taylor is going to point out and have a huge, big blow up map to show where all these cameras are, and that none of these cameras got this vehicle? A really strong argument is that the vehicle originated in Moscow, belongs in Moscow, and it stayed in Moscow. We have a camera every exit in my town. Lots of cities do. Good point. Yeah, because local law enforcement actually teams up with businesses. When my dad had a bunch of pizza places back in the day, and there was like pizza subs, everything, pasta. Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, brings me back to the day. Anyways, so he was like right on the corner, and dude, cops were in there all the time. Hey, can we get your footage? Hey, can we get your footage? And I'm like, fucking start charging him. Yep. But it was always like, they knew who had good footage. They knew who didn't. And then if somebody actually didn't have it, they would tell them like, hey, can we, like, you need to upgrade this. Like, da-da-da-da-da. We'll start buying more pizzas from here. We'll start doing whatever. They would do whatever to, but they did that all shit all the time. So Ann Taylor is really, really honing in on the video. And I know why. You could see right where it's leaving. That's your shot to get out and go straight to Pullman. And that's what Blaker said happened. Blaker doesn't allege that Brian Culver did this loop-de-loop shit. He alleges that he makes a beeline straight to his apartment and that gives him his warrant to go in there and get, there's going to be blood, there's going to be the knife, and blah, blah, blah. So Ann Taylor must go. It's like in the Karen Reed case, there was no body on the lawn. Okay. There's no body on the lawn at that time. I think in the Brian Culver case, you need to beat into the jurors' heads that there's no car ever leaving Moscow, that there's low traffic. There should have been such an easy vehicle to see getting out, and you can't see it on they don't have it on any single camera. Isn't that nuts? Oh, but contraire, we do have it, don't we? Significant Harris. Super significant, don't we, Harris? Is that Nancy Gray? Yeah, Nancy, 3:45 a.m., leaving and speeding at a high rate. We do have a car getting out of Dodge. 3:45 a.m. Which would make sense because if we say that the 4:01 a.m. car on Ridge Road that comes back and goes back up and through there at 4:07, if that's actually different from the vehicle that had just previously left, and could be the 3:45 vehicle. It would have been 2 before that. So you do have a vehicle leaving. We have a vehicle leaving. We have a vehicle leaving at a high rate of speed, going and crossing over and going towards White Ave. What's the problem? Fuck, it's at 3:45. It can't be. It can't be. What do you mean it can't be? Why can't it be? Why couldn't that be the car with the killer or killers? Because of Dylan and Bethany, right? Well, maybe they just have very slow, fine motor skills when they drink. Okay, back about it was 2022. It was right after, it was 2023. Okay, right after Kohlberger was arrested. And even before it, like right before it, but highly, highly right after. There is actually a case that people were looking into, people saying the FBI allegedly were looking into to see if Brian Kohlberger was responsible and where he was in 2021 when there was a stabbing in Atlanta's Piedmont Park. Okay, I'm going to play you guys a clip of something. There was a runner. I'm going to show you about a lot of things, but here. Wait, that's not the one I want. Hold on.
The search for a suspect continues 2 years after a woman and her dog were brutally murdered in Piedmont Park. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us. For Fox 5 News at 4, I'm Christine Spiro. Katie Janess and her dog were stabbed to death on this date in 2021. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes joins us from Piedmont Park in Atlanta. And Deidre, you spoke to the victims' loved ones today.
And the victims' loved ones and police who 2 years after Katie Janess's murder say this is still a very active investigation. They remain hopeful that someone will come forward with information that'll lead to a break in the case.
The way Katie died, no one should ever have to.
Joe Clark joined mourners at Piedmont Park the day after Katie Janess and her dog were brutally murdered. His daughter was Janess's girlfriend.
It does baffle us that, how could someone do such a horrible crime and then to just be nothing?
I spoke with Joe Clark by phone on this 2-year anniversary of Katie's murder as the search continues for her killer.
It's a busy park, and it's just always baffled me that the only picture that we see of Katie is on the Rainbow Crosswalk, and then she's found several blocks away. And it's just, how could no one have had any type of contact? I mean, Atlanta is even busy at midnight.
Janess was taking her dog for a walk when she was viciously attacked. The woman and her dog were both stabbed to death. Officers were called to the entrance of Piedmont Park at 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive around 1 a.m. on July 28, 2021, after Janess's partner, Emma Clark, went looking for her and made the gruesome discovery. The couple lived just up the street from the park. Atlanta police held a news conference Friday afternoon in an effort to generate new leads in the case.
We're asking the community, you may not even been in the park that night, but if you've heard or saw anything that seems suspicious, just off, please notify us.
Janessa's partner left town soon after her murder. Her father says the past 2 years have been difficult.
It was a hard time when it happened, when people wanted to point fingers, so we just kind of tried to stay out of the spotlight with that. He had police protection for quite a while afterwards, even, because of just people doing that. So that made it even harder for the healing process.
All right, so I want to tell you guys about this a little bit. Ready? Katie and her girlfriend Emma live together. Okay, they're obviously gay. They've been together for 7 years. They have a dog. Actually, they had 2 dogs. Both of them were like bartender server people. Piedmont Park is like in the heart of like the gay area of Atlanta. Now, they released her autopsy, which I cannot believe that they did this. So I got it, looked at it, and it's unreal. But somebody either was trying to carve in the word fat, F-A-T, or F-A-G. And, of course, the media didn't want to go the route that it was F-A-G. And then it could be that of a hate crime, okay? But back on up. Maddie and Kaylee were leaving a bar that night when they were killed, okay? Here, Katie goes to take the dog for a walk. It's within walking distance of where she could go to where Emma worked. Okay, so she goes and gets her like around 12:30. Hey, hi, what's up? How are you going to be? Type of thing. And all right, I'm going to take the dog for like a walk, and then she would just like head home. Like that would be like something that was normal. And when she left after being and seeing her girlfriend at the bar that she worked at, her girlfriend's bar, it was just like a straight shot down, like it's on the corner of 10th and the Piedmont Park entrance. And Janessa had an iPhone on her, and she has her pit bull dog. And somehow, I mean, this woman was stabbed over 50 times, like 17 stabs to like the head. Okay. Mutilation, I think in her breasts. And then it was like F, A, and then they said like the T. So it was like underneath the one, it was all on the torso. Anyways, and the dog was killed as well. But I want you guys to hear this 911 call, because the person that finds her is her girlfriend. Okay. And a lot of people came out and they're like, well, I think it's pretty clear who did this, like the girlfriend did it. It's like who, and I'm going to show you this interview, but the amount of time that this could have only happened is so, in my opinion, small. This person would have been covered in blood, literally covered in blood. And not only did they kill her, they killed her dog. But their bodies weren't right next to each other. They were separated a little by, 30 feet. But she leaves at 12:30, and then, she leaves at like midnight, and then the girlfriend clocks out of work, which she thought was around 12:30, and she goes home because she's on her bike, and she just bikes it, gets home, and realizes like Katie's not there, dog's not there, so she looks on. She's calling her, she's not answering. And then she goes to find my iPhone and sees that, she sees a location, and it's not like it's moving. And she says that it was in and over by the park. So she gets on her bike and goes biking on over, because she's like, something's wrong. Like, this is crazy. What is she doing? She felt like something was wrong. She's not answering. And then she bikes on over to the park, which is not that far at all. And then finds first sees the dog and saw something happen to the dog. And then after finding the dog, then she finds her. And then she calls 911. And so I want you guys to hear this 911 call. And then I want you to hear this interview. And this is one of the cases, because one of the videos of somebody that was like running outside the park, people put it out there that in the feds were looking into the fact that could Brian Culver be responsible for this killing? No joke. So let me get to this interview. This is her first. Okay, here, see this one first.
Agent Trebor Randall. Thank you so much for being with us, Agent Randall. So the reason we're on here right now is we're covering a very somber but important anniversary. Today marks 2 years since the murder of Katie Janess in Piedmont Park. Certainly a crime that shocked, the Atlanta community and really beyond. Stunning details. She was stabbed more than 50 times. Apparently, the word fat had been carved onto her skin. And it's still not known who killed her and her dog in the overnight hours at Piedmont Park. Again, it was 2 years ago today. But again, Agent Randall, this is something that, of course, you a story you follow very closely. You have a lot of expertise on this subject. What do we expect this far out from this crime? In terms of the investigation.
Well, I think in terms of the investigation, we should know that it's still active, it's still ongoing. I understand that many times the public or the family members of those that have been killed in these instances feel like they're being left out or being left in the dark because they're not seeing the regular briefings, maybe like there was in the beginning. But having experience with many of these cases, it's still very active a lot of times behind the scenes. Certainly, leads are still being followed up on, but there obviously has been the absence of any significant lead that would have led to a significant finding of a suspect in this case.
Yeah, and so Atlanta police actually held a press conference earlier today, and the big takeaway for a lot of people was that there were no major updates, and so that a lot of people, it felt a little bit discouraged by that there were no major updates. But as you said, that doesn't mean that the investigation is not continuing, right? And what can the public do at this point to help?
That's correct. The investigation is continuing. I can assure you that.
Emma, I guess I'll just start asking you to just tell me.
This is her girlfriend.
In the last 24 hours, how do you describe this last day for yourself?
It's hard to describe. Difficult. Unreal, pretty much.
You feel like you're in a nightmare of some sort?
Yeah, I've said that a couple times. Definitely, it's not set in yet. I don't think completely. Very just sad.
You feel like you're still kind of in shock?
Probably, yeah.
When, if you could just tell me, who is Katie to you?
Katie is my favorite person in the whole world. Not a doubt. I spend all the time with her, and even if she was at work, that's normal. And if I was at home not without her, I missed her even in those times. I always wanted her to be around. She was funny. She's smart. She always tell people, I'm like, I have random facts I tell people, but I always learn them from her. She has something new to teach me every day. And that was one of my favorite things about her. Just she's so smart. Like, and I always told her she could have done anything in the whole world that she wanted to do. She could have been anything, but she hated school, so she didn't take that path. But you know, she was charismatic, even if she didn't like to be around everybody all the time. She was very to herself. A lot of times she liked alone time. So she was a really good person. She never did anything bad to anybody. You know, she was really sarcastic. Maybe had a little bit of dark humor, but I like that about her.
Okay, so I've been going crazy over this case because I'm like, holy shit, how did nobody fucking see this? Like, how did nobody, like, dude, they had fucking cameras in the park that they knew didn't work, but they just had them up to quote unquote deter people from doing things, allegedly. Okay. I'm like, wait a second. Okay, so she leaves the fucking bar. She has her fucking pit bull. Like, that's not a person I would think that I'm gonna want to try to go attack. Okay, she has a dog. And I'm like, do I think this would be like a serial killer? Or do I feel like this would be somebody that would have known her? She dated this girl for 7 years. So I was like trying to figure out how long they were together beforehand. Okay, maybe it could be like a scorned ex, blah, blah. But they were together for 7 years. And I'm like, this timing is just really, I mean, it's a small window. And then you think that when you're covered with all this blood, there's going to be some type of a trail, right? And so hold on. She's going to get into
her and her dog. That was pretty much the beginning of everything.
How long ago was that?
We celebrated our 6th year last month.
6 years.
Yeah. What's your last memory of her? People talk about what Tuesday night.
It was Tuesday night.
I mean, I didn't usually work Tuesday, but I guess, I mean, we had coffee together in the morning, like we always do. And just said, you know, goodbye. See you later. She came by with the dog because if she's out with the dog and she's over there, she'll always comes to say hi, lets me see him, and just, you know, check up on me, see how long I was going to be at work. And, you know, I said, I love you. Be safe. I'll see you later. That was pretty much it.
What made you, you know, say, hey, she's not back yet, and she normally is. What's the routine, and what stood out as not normal?
Well, I didn't get home till about an hour after I saw her, and we live like a mile up the road, so she would have been home by then because she wouldn't have gone much further. Walking the dog, she doesn't usually stay out that late to walk him. So and if I get home and she's not there, I always call her, you know, just be like, hey, what's your ETA, where you at, whatever. And she didn't answer, and she always answers. So that's when I knew something was really wrong. I called her a bunch of times, she didn't answer. I texted her a bunch, she didn't respond. So I pretty much knew immediately something wasn't right. I didn't know what it was, but I knew something had gone wrong. Yeah, I used to find my iPhone app. I know of her information. She used to, so I got on there to look for her, and that's what showed me she was at the park. So.
Showed me she was at the park.
I honestly don't know, but this is the worst thing I could imagine. It's definitely like a horror movie, and Katie didn't deserve to go through what she did. You know, my biggest thing that I've been saying for the past days, like, it's really sad for me to lose her, but I can't even imagine how scared she was. for that to happen. You know, she wasn't an easily scared person. She was very confident. She felt safe being in Midtown, and that in her final moments, like, that was taken from her, and that bothers me the most. And I hope they find them. I hope they get what they deserve too.
We're so sorry. And you break to ask your dad a couple questions. Dad, we see your
Okay, so here we go.
you knew her too. How are you taking this all in? What are you thinking?
Well, the one thing that stands out so much for me and the relationship, and we're extremely close, and Katie made Emma happy. They had a good life together. They've started with nothing. They built on that. They lost their first home in a house fire, and they had to move to where they live now. And but they were so resilient through that process. And Katie, like she said, she was so intelligent. I loved conversation with her because there's several subjects that her and I could talk about, and she always knew the answer, which was awesome. But the way it is affecting Emma through this, I always knew that Emma was safe with Katie, and she protected her. She was. They had such a great relationship that for a parent, if you don't have to worry about your children all the time, which most do, but I knew as long as they were together, I didn't have to worry about Emma. And Katie filled that part, just as any life partner does, is someone who she cared so much about Emma, she made sure that Emma was okay. And Emma did the same thing for her. I'm extremely sad because Emma is hurting. And Emma lived here before she and Katie, they were together for a couple of years before they ended up moving in together. So Emma was here, but she drove into Midtown to work every day. And then one day she says, hey, well, Dad, I'm going to move out. Me and Katie are going to move in together. And I thought it was such a great thing for them so they wouldn't have to drive and everything. And they just always had a security about their relationship. In a lot of relationships, people, they think you're going to, they change relationships so often, but they weren't that way. They were dedicated to each other. And so it makes me feel sad that what she's going to miss out on because of it.
I work at Henry's. I've done pretty much everything you can do there, but currently I've just been serving, and then I manage a couple days a week, closing. So.
And so I just wanted to talk about you all's routine. There's different reports, and I think some of them are a little inaccurate, so I'm going to clear it up to some people. They said that you all had gone to dinner before, and was that not the case? Or
No.
You had been at work.
I was at work, yeah.
And she stopped by your job to say, hey, before she went out walking the dog.
Yeah.
Did she work that day?
She didn't work that day. I don't normally work that day, but she was supposed to go out of town today to go see her mom. She's supposed to fly to Michigan to see her mom. She hadn't seen her in a while. So I worked that day so that I could take her to the airport. And yeah, I was at work really late. We have some new people, and things are just taking longer, so I was there way later than usual. So we did not go to dinner, no.
Did you anticipate that she would be out that late? Or curious why?
She always walks the dogs late. We both work at night, so we're always up during the evenings. Like normally we don't get up until afternoon normally, like 1 o'clock. And then, we don't get our day started. We don't go to work until 4 at the earliest normally. So yeah, usually, we'd get home from work and she would walk the dog. Usually I wouldn't be off yet, so she would leave before I got home. and she would usually be back about when I got home or a little bit after. So, I mean, it was normal for her to, like I saw her at 11:30. That in Midtown, like that's not really that late. There was still a bunch of people around. Even like right up the street, there was, that's where Blake's is, and G's, and there were tons of people around. She always goes out. I know.
So she supposedly got to the bar restaurant where she works at 11:30, but was there for like 30 minutes. And then where she's seen in the crosswalk with the dog, that's like at 12:05, 12:10, right in that area. And so you have from that time that she has to get from there to it's like a couple blocks down. I'll pull it up here in a second. And it's a very short window of time. Like, I mean, I guess it's not as short as like the Idaho4, what they're trying to say, but I don't know how you can kill somebody in the middle of a park or on the, like, when I say the middle of the park, I'm talking about like the middle of the entrance, like right as you were to like to walk into a park that's like, dog park, like, like the middle of like the city type of parks. And it's just like right when you would walk into it and right off to the right. Like, who the fuck just stabbed somebody to death 50 some times and then has time to carve fat into their torso? It's F8, and then people go if it was either a G or a T, because they were trying to look and see if it was a hate crime. But and she had her dog that's a pit bull. This is a case that the FBI literally looked into to see where Brian Colberger, where he was July of 2021, if he went to Atlanta.
She didn't normally go like through the park, I don't think. Like she did sometimes, but she always took different routes. She liked knowing the neighborhood. She knew every part of Midtown, so she could go anywhere. Yeah. I mean, I've never had a problem. I always told people, like, because a lot of people be like, oh, it seems like you're a woman walking alone or like whatever. And I was like, yeah, I mean, the most I've ever had, like, I have homeless people come up to me and ask me for money, but generally they're harmless people. You give them $1, you say no, and you move on. Nobody's ever really given us a problem, ever. So.
Just shocking to you. It's shocking to the whole community. There's so many people out there right now dropping off flowers for her and you. And Bowie or Bowie?
Bowie. He named after David Bowie.
Okay.
So it's like
Bowie was
one of
her baby.
Katie's favorite musical artists.
They dropped off dog treats.
Yeah.
Cars. Katie Bowie. So there's a vigil tonight.
Mm-hmm.
People are sending prayers to you all. What do you want to say to the community?
Everybody's been really nice, and I'm thankful for people reaching out. It's actually pretty overwhelming. So, a lot of people have donated money, and I'm happy because I know her mom doesn't have the money to take care of everything, and neither do I. So that was really overwhelming to see how much people were giving. So we don't have to.
Okay, so check this out. This GoFundMe raises like, I don't know, over $75,000. She puts $15,000 towards the funeral, and then she goes and buys a condo and puts money down on a condo and just pieces out. They were like getting ready to like move or something like that. I think she's about to start talking about it. She wanted the police to publicly clear her because she started getting like death threats and stuff. Okay. The girlfriend started getting death threats. And people started saying like that she was involved and blah, blah, blah. And she asked the police, she's like, can you guys fucking publicly clear me? You know, like I clearly didn't have anything to do with this, you know, yada, yada, yada. And the police have never publicly cleared her. Like to this day. Nothing that I could find anyways. And let me tell you something. I've probably fucking deep dived this case like back 2 years ago, a little bit of time, but the past 3-4 days, this is all I've been like researching is this case because it's very intriguing.
Worry about that right now. You know, Katie always sent her mom money to help with her bills, and I know she needs the help.
This may be a difficult question, but when you saw your home into Piedmont Park, did anything stand out to you as concerning then, or did you leave, or what happened then when you saw Piedmont Park?
I'd already left my house, so I was just going down the street that she.
Okay, so I thought that was weird. I had already left my house. I would have said I had already left our house. Like I think it's interesting that she says my house, just me. Or I would have said like I already had left the house, like mine. I just have a really big problem with people say mine if it's something that's not yours, and it's like I don't know. Anyways,
normally that I would think she would be near. I was just gonna ride around where I thought she would be, and because I couldn't get it to ping right away, and when it did, the first thing I noticed is that it wasn't moving, and I was like, she wouldn't just be stopped somewhere, like she wouldn't sit somewhere and like she was with the dog, she's just gonna walk with the dog. She didn't like hang out anywhere when she did that. So that was the first thing I noticed. I thought maybe she had just like dropped her phone somewhere and didn't notice, or you know, I didn't know what to think about it, but I knew it was strange.
I want to wrap up soon and just ask you to think about what she would want people to say or remember about her.
she talks about the night. I want her to talk about the night.
Yeah.
Let me.
If she wasn't really extroverted, but everybody knew her. Like she knew a ton of people, but she's worked in Midtown, and I think she didn't like attention. She was from the north, so she when she first moved here, she got a little more used to it. She still would be like, you know, but so honestly, she probably wouldn't care too much. I know that she knew people cared about her, and she had a lot of friends, and those people, I know they'll remember her fondly because she never gave anybody a reason not to. You know, she was never hurtful or think.
Not ask that you want to say or add as well.
Guess I don't really have much. It's been really hard for me to think. Like, no, she was a good person. She didn't, like I said, she didn't deserve it, and I hate it. I hate it for her that she had to go through that. So.
Well, Emma's being really modest on the talents that Katie had. She was also a songwriter, self-taught musician, guitar collector, book collector. She was a pretty highbrow person. Even if somebody said, oh, she's a bartender, well, the bartender behind that bar probably had the highest IQ in the room. She just recently wrote several songs, and she shared them over who she loved to share that music. That is,
loved to make money making music, but she did it for yeah.
Okay, we're gonna come back to this. So hold on, I'm gonna play this 911 call, and I'm gonna play a little clip of. So this is the 911 call.
Park, one of Atlanta, Georgia's most popular parks. In the call, which was short and heavily redacted by police, you can hear Emma frantic and out of breath, relaying to the dispatcher what she had just found. Not only was the caller traumatized to find the scene of a gruesome homicide, but the victim was 40-year-old Katie Janis, Emma's partner of 6 years.
Atlanta 911, operator 7959. What's the address to your emergency?
Sir, I'm at the entrance of Piedmont Park. I just was searching for my girlfriend's purse because I couldn't find her. She just said she's here at Piedmont Park. Please help.
You said somebody's dead at
Oh my
Piedmont
God.
Park?
Yes, sir.
Oh wait, hold on.
Please help. Please.
All right, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna send help to you.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, can I get your name? Get a callback number? All right. Where's she at in the park?
She's like near the entrance, like I don't know how to explain it. Did you just see that? That's my fucking girlfriend. Yeah.
All right, hold.
Please. Oh my God, dude. She's like she's dead. Like it's
Okay, so hold on. We're gonna back up. She's on the phone, and some guy walks up, and he's like, he gets startled and screams, and he's like, "Oh my God, what the what the fuck?" Like, "Oh my God!" Like he sees this, right? And she just says, "Yeah, it's my fucking girlfriend." What? Where'd that come from? I was like, "Wait, what?" So I'm gonna replay this right from here. She's right like near the entrance. So this is the entrance of it, just so you guys know.
how to explain it. Did you just see that? That's my fucking girlfriend. Yeah.
Did you just see that? Did you just see that? Did you just see that? I would never be referring to like my person as that. Did you just see that? That's my fucking girlfriend. That. I was like, wait, what?
All right, hold.
Please. Oh my God, dude. She's like she's dead. Like it's so fun.
All right, I'm about to call Grady, okay?
Please.
Grady EMS, what's the address of your emergency?
Hey, Grady, I have one for 1073 Piedmont Avenue Northeast.
You have a call on the line?
Yes, ma'am. Are you still on the line? Okay, I guess she must have disconnected. She said her girlfriend is dead in the park.
Okay. Girlfriend is dead in the park?
Yeah, at Piedmont Park.
Okay, did she advise where at in the park? The huge park?
She was saying she was at the entrance.
Okay, at the entrance.
Grady is a dispatch. It's
Okay,
a.
can we get fire and PD? I'm not one.
Yes, ma'am. I already sent it. Thank you, 915.
What's your operator?
7959.
All right, thank you. We'll have up the route.
All right.
She doesn't say anything about the dog.
Emma told detectives she was at work earlier in the day and had last seen Katie when she stopped by with their beloved dog Bowie to have lunch.
Right here. No, wait.
She worked late and did not return home until after Katie had already left to walk the dog, which she frequently did alone. Usually, when Emma gets home, she'll call Katie to see when she'll be back, but when she called and later texted, this time Katie never answered. That's when she knew something was wrong and started tracking her phone. She first started driving down the roads that Katie would normally walk until the ping brought her to Piedmont Park. And after realizing the ping hadn't moved for several minutes, she was already afraid of what she would find. She walked into the entrance of the park, and that's when she stumbled upon Katie's body along with the body of their 3-year-old pit bull, both stabbed to death. Police described the scene as gruesome and not an ordinary murder scene, with local media reporting that Katie had been stabbed several times as well as disfigured. With no immediate suspects, police first got to work on downloading their surveillance footage from around the park.
And there's none.
Unsure if it was a setup, a hate crime, or just a random killing, they scoured the footage for any clues. On August 4th, they finally released several clips of the city's surveillance footage around the time of the murder, hoping the individuals seen will come forward as possible witnesses.
Right there. There it is. See that runner right there with the light on? You guys can't make this up, that blooming light. The feds were looking into seeing that was Brian Kohlberger. Right there. That's the pic. How the hell does somebody not get picked up on surveillance camera in this area and they have these shots? So the first one is right here. Hold on. See, okay, so Piedmont Ave, you got a guy over there. And this is right at the entrance of it.
The individuals seen will come forward as possible witnesses.
This is somebody running out, but they have like a light on there, like a night runner. Camera 1. See right here, come over here from the right hand side of the screen. You're going to see here he is running out. He's just a runner. I thought that was Brian Kohlberger. Camera 2, right here. Camera 3. See a dude right here? Camera 4, guy over there.
Katie was last seen on the footage around 12:09 a.m. walking across the Pride intersection with Bowie. This was the last time they'd be seen before her partner found their bodies.
Okay, so I said, why wasn't Katie seen on the camera? Like going in. You know what I mean? Like you would in the last video, like the last known pic that they would have would be going in over that area, right? I mean, maybe they're just not releasing that. You know, we're not going to release, but why not?
About an hour later. So far, only one witness from the surveillance footage has come forward and has cooperated with police, saying they did not see or hear anything suspicious. Police are stressing that the subjects seen in the video clips are not suspects, but witnesses that may have seen or heard something important and may not realize. At the time of this video, despite $20,000 in rewards, no suspects have been named and the case is still being investigated. The city of Atlanta has been on edge since
Let's go get that money, TNT.
The brutal murder. Some residents frustrated with the lack of progress in the investigation, worried the attacker may still be in the area. With the police department only releasing few details in the case, many rumors have since been swirling around the community. Some have questioned if a serial killer is roaming around Atlanta, since within days of the Piedmont Park murder and within 20 miles, another woman had been found shot to death in a remote state park. Some people have made posts stating that Katie was mutilated and had markings left on her body. However, Atlanta PD has not confirmed this and has responded that what some are saying is, quote, inaccurate or completely false, end quote.
Detective Mallory.
Atlanta officials are trying their best to put the rumors to rest, saying they have found no evidence that links the two cases. The FBI is now assisting Atlanta PD with Katie's murder, which also leaves the community to speculate that there's something more going on with the case. Until we have more details, it's hard to know what may have happened or who committed the crime, but if any further details are released, I'll be making another part to this video with any updates. A day after the discovery, friends, family, and even strangers left flowers and stopped to say a prayer at a makeshift memorial near the scene. Katie worked as a bartender in the area and was known as kind to everyone she met and was said to be a big advocate for equality and social justice. Emma said she loved music and even wrote several of her own songs in her spare time. A GoFundMe was created to help the family with burial expenses, where over $70,000 from the community was raised. The family is also hoping to build a memorial bench inside of Piedmont Park in honor of Katie and Bowie. Her family and friends are praying that the Atlanta PD can solve the case quickly and find the suspect that committed the brutal crime and get justice for Katie. If anyone has information on the case, they are to call Atlanta Police Homicide at 404-546-4235 or Crime Stoppers at 40.
So, guess who fucking covered this case? Nancy Grace covered this case. You know, Nancy Grace lived over there. She knows that area well. She had a guest on her show for this case and literally bit his fucking ass off. And I couldn't even believe how she acted. I was like, what the hell's wrong with her? They have not released like anything. Like, did she have, okay, where was her phone found? I want to know where her phone was. I want to know so this autopsy is out there. It's public. I read it. You guys can read it on your own. It's wild. But she fought like hell. But I want to know how the dog did. I mean, I feel like the dog and the owner would have had to been separated somehow. How does this person that killed Katie, I mean, or how did they not suffer any? I don't know. That's wild. And there are many entrances in, but where she was walking, I just wish that they would play a little bit more of the clip because somebody could see, but the timeline just was really interesting to me. She gets on and does the Find My iPhone app and then sees that it's not moving and then goes looking, calling. And I was like, if I saw somebody that I was dating's phone in the middle of the park or at the park entrance, just standing still, like, what the fuck? They're not answering. But the police have never publicly cleared her. Isn't that weird? Why would she think something's wrong? I mean, what do you mean? I'm calling. I'm like, what? Why would you left at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I'm getting home at 1 and you're not back. Like, where the fuck are you? I would be like, if you're just going, like you're walking back home. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Like, you should beat me home. I don't know. I sense that their relationship wasn't on really good terms. Were they breaking up? I don't know. The one girl was gonna go visit her mom, who she hadn't seen in a while. Why wasn't the girl going with her? Normally, like, you would go with your partner to go see your mom. You know what I mean? That she'd be going by herself. Interesting. Does this intrigue you at all? Well, it intrigued me when I found out the FBI was trying to connect Brian Kober to this case. And it intrigued me because of the whole Brian Kober allegedly not, thinking fondly of gay people. Okay. And so I was like, oh God, the rumor mill. What made her look at Find My iPhone app? I mean, I'm sure if she's done that before, just leave it to the gays. They straight stalkers. Leave it to my gays. They just straight stalking. You better get that 360 Life 360. You better learn how to manipulate your Life 360. Where in Michigan was she going to? I don't know. But I was reading the autopsy the other night, and I had to swallow. I was like, whoa. I'll read a little bit of it if you guys want to see it. But I'm like, they haven't released hardly anything, but they released this, and woman killed in Atlanta Park was stabbed, cut over 50 times. Katie had more than 50 wounds on her face. I don't know if that's right. I counted 17 when I did the autopsy, but we'll see. She had more than 50 wounds on her face, neck. Oh, okay, there you go. Face, neck, chest, back, arms, and hands, according to the Fulton County Medical Examiner's report. It is my opinion that Katie died due to sharp force injuries of her face, neck, and torso that caused injuries of major blood vessels and internal organs. At least 15 of the cuts were on her face, and more than a dozen were on her lower back, according to the autopsy report. The letters F, A, and T were also found etched onto her chest. That's not right. It's the torso. They didn't get that right. Katie's partner of 7 years, Emma Clark, well, they got that wrong too. It's 6, but that's why I said 7, because the media put out 7. Emma Clark said Katie went to walk Bowie after dinner, but didn't return. And this is where they wanted to try to clear this up. They're like, we didn't go to dinner. She came to my work. Walked Bowie after dinner and didn't return, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Clark tracked Katie, her phone location, to Piedmont Park, where she discovered Katie and their dog. And there's a different interview. I think it actually comes up in a little bit where she says how she found the dog first. Following the release of the medical examiner's report, Emma Clark's father, Terrell Clark, released a statement on behalf of the family to ABC. With today's release of Katie's autopsy report, it's more important than ever that the search for her killer be a top priority for APD and the FBI, the statement said. The report is extremely heartbreaking to read and know the exact nature of what Katie endured in her final moments on this earth. Whoever is responsible is very disturbed and remains a danger to everyone's safety. Please be vigilant and aware of your surroundings, for we would hate for any families to be put through this nightmare. The Atlanta Police Department and the FBI are investigating the murder, and a $10,000 reward is being offered for information that could help lead it to an arrest. The investigation into Katie's murder remains open and active, very active. Active my ass. They made it all the way onto People.
News. Breaking At 11, a patient is dead after an ambulance crashes and rolls over.
What the heck?
You're looking at this.
That's not what I wanted. Where's the actual link? There it is. Oh no, that's not it. Fuck. I just had it. I don't know, you guys can. I just read it. Okay. Ready for this? I don't see how one person could have inflicted that much damage on someone, he said after reading the report's details. He believes there could be more than one person responsible. Joe Clark. Lana, when was the FBI interested in BK for this, please? In the beginning. Joe Clark added that his daughter would likely not read the autopsy report, the details being too disturbing. He later explained how Emma has been a focal point of online harassment in the months following Katie's killing. Emma is the new victim, he added, detailing the ways in which his daughter's address had been posted online. He said her phone was also flooded with upsetting messages, and there had been unfounded theories of her involvement in the case. Joe Clark also spoke on their frustration over how the city has responded to the killing and what he sees as a lack of urgency around the case. I agree. He wants to see more attention taken to keep residents safe. I mean, I just cannot believe like the attention that the Idaho4 got. Like, dude, this stabbing it's in the middle of a park. Like, I don't even say the middle of the park. It's at the entrance of the park. There's a camera right there. Nobody knew that those cameras that were inside the park. Nobody knew that those cameras didn't work. Like, what the fuck, you know? Oh, here it is. I got it. I'm going to print it for the autopsy. I wanted the toxology. I wanted to know if she was hammered. Oh, so a blue-black plastic wireless earbud is adjacent to the right ear. I always tell people, I'm like, man, why do you put something in your ear when you need to have at least one ear to the street? It is my opinion that Katie died due to sharp force injuries of her face, neck, and torso that caused injuries of major blood vessels and internal organs. The manner of Katie's death is classified as a homicide. And it has okay, chest. Here, do you guys want to see this or no? Is it too bad? Should you just see it on your own? I could put it up on Hector. I mean, it's really bad. I just wanted to show you guys these, like the carving. An 8.5 by 6 area of intersecting incision wounds on the middle and right side of the lower chest, upper abdomen forms F and A. These wounds are centered 20 inches from the top of the head. Except for the horizontal component for the A. The wounds are less than 1/16 to 3/16 in depth. The injuries are oriented in multiple directions. Each convergence appears pointed. These injuries involve the skin and subcutaneous tissue without entering the body cavity. Forming the horizontal section of A in the injuries complex, it's a 3 3/4 by 5/8 incision that is 1 1/8 in depth. This injury is oriented in the 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock positions. Like, what the fuck? Like, who would have time? You just gotta say you want to see it. A vertical oriented 13 1/8 times, or by 4 1/4 incision wound extending. So it's like that's the part of the T. It's a lot. Blunt force injuries. So contusions of the right upper extremities are, so like I saw it as somebody who was like punching as well. There is no scalp trauma. They did a toxicology, but they don't have it here. A short sleeve black t-shirt with a multicolored design is pulled at the lower chest. Defects in the shirt correspond to wounds on the body. Blue denim jeans with a black belt in the loops and blue underwear with a red and white heart pattern are at the level of the knees. That was right. That was the other thing I want to tell you guys. So there was, I don't know, they said, it's like somebody pulled down her pants but didn't do anything. It was like to embarrass you. Yeah, she had her clothes on when she was because I read that part too with the where is the she wasn't sexually assaulted. I don't know. I just recommend go get it. The girlfriend left town right after this happened, according to news stories. Well, I was more interested in the fact that I heard that she bought a condo with the money that was on GoFundMe or something. But she did pay for the what do you call it? The funeral. Oh wait, shit. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I mean, you can listen to it. I'm sure she'd love. Oh, I got this many listens, and she's like, it'd be like 12 people. It's not a lot, but it was. She was like, it's more than I thought. They'll do it. So it always made her really happy.
So strange. They're asking her for her music.
Let's see. Follow her. Yeah, I was like, you at least have me following you. She had a few followers. My in like her views, but she was always on it.
Does it have the graph?
It's
Does they have to make money?
right.
Okay, I don't want to get struck. Hold on 1 second. A very strange interview. I was like, what? Hold on. If you guys want to see the True Crime Garage, they did a little blurb and that is there worth anything. And then where was the oh, here. They released this one too.
Is Haley Mason joining us live. And Haley, this is the first witness to visit police. We're talking about that and also seeing that police revealed tonight, the Atlanta Police Department releasing new pictures of a potential witness to last week's murder in Piedmont Park. CBS 46's Haley Mason joining us live. And Haley, this is the first witness to visit police. We're talking about that and also seeing that new picture as well, right?
Yes, police at least revealing to us this progress report that this witness came in cooperating with the investigation, all identified on surveillance video that police has been putting out this week. So success so far in putting out those pictures, putting out that video, trying to get people who were in the park around the time of the murder to come talk to investigators. Just minutes before this 911 call was made.
You said somebody's dead at Piedmont Park?
Yes, sir. Please send help. Please.
All right, yes, ma'am. I'm going to send help to you.
Oh my God.
Police say people were inside Piedmont Park, at least 6 possible witnesses, police pointing out on surveillance video. Releasing these new, higher quality photos today, police honing in on talking to this possible witness who ran by the front of the park closest to the time the gruesome murder was discovered just yards away, seemingly unaware. We broke down the timeline, showing the jogger near the park entrance at 12:46 a.m., less than 25 minutes before the body was discovered and police were called at 1:11 a.m. last Wednesday. Police telling me they can't confirm if the jogging man was a witness to the actual crime at this time, but they tell us he came forward and has been cooperating. He is not a suspect.
And that timeline is imperative.
I reached out to our crime scene and
Okay, right there. 12:46, you guys. 12:46, he's running right there. Like 12:46. I want to know what entrance she really like went in. All I know is she wanted the cops to clear her name. She's like, I couldn't have any, like, have no blood on me. Like, what's going on? And I would want to be clear too. I mean,
analyst Cheryl Mack McCullum.
They are working that timeline down to the second in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So the photographs or the videos are going to be timestamped. So they now know exactly almost when that murder occurred. So they have gotten past knowing when the 911.
Okay, what about like geofencing? Like, what the fuck are they doing? How could you not have this solved? Like, how? Like, you have to go walk into the park. You have to walk out of the park at some point. Like, what the fuck is Atlanta doing?
One call was made. They now have a window that they are going to examine literally to the millisecond.
McCullum says police are taking their time, moving carefully and methodically, making sure nothing is compromised in building their case and charges.
It appears to me they've done an extraordinary job because not only have they gotten this timeline down to the second, they are now zeroing in on folks that they believe were there that could have seen something or heard something and may be unaware that they even have information that's going to help law enforcement.
Look at how.
And police have video and pictures of at least 5 other people that they've put out there saying they were in the park around the time that Katie.
That could have.
Look at this. Look at how close they are to the entrance.
Moving carefully and methodically, making sure nothing is compromised in building their case and charges.
It appears.
You see that? That's so close to the entrance. Like, what the fuck? Crazy that it hasn't been solved. I can't imagine that there's like no blood of the person that did it, or they haven't said anything. Anyways, go on the hunt, guys. Go on the hunt. I'm going to close it out by saying First Amendment, man. We all have our First Amendment. We all have our First Amendment rights. This channel would never support and back anybody mob mentality going and mass reporting. Bitch, please. No, I'm not a follower, and I would never need people to engage in what I'm engaging in. But I believe that all the victims' families have the right to their First Amendment. But just remember that anything that you say, there's going to be consequences to things, but if I don't like what somebody has to say and I just don't watch it, I don't go around it. But I don't know what was going on that page. I don't know anything about the page. and we're talking about the Gonsalves family Facebook page. I wasn't a part of it. I have no idea. I'm a big constitutionalist, so I believe in our rights. You have your First Amendment rights. However, I don't think that you can be promoting hate speech or instigating, I don't know, violence towards others. But I don't know anything about that. It's sad. It's sad that the law enforcement in this case has allowed this case to become such a fucking circus. Okay? There's leadership in law enforcement with local, state, and clearly FBI, national. Their integrity is lacking. Somebody took a murder of 4 students, 4 kids, right? And showed no regard for their life that they lost and thought that they could fucking do whatever they wanted with a case and the evidence in a case. Who do you think you fucking are? So I really have nothing to say. But I can promise you that this channel does not, I've never fucking reported except one thing in my whole entire life. And it definitely wasn't a Facebook group. Nor would I ever do anything with the gang mentality or I don't need to fucking drum up mass reporters or whatever the fuck they're talking about. That's the lamest shit I've ever heard. Like, that's weak shit. My game ain't weak. I can promise you that. If I'm going to do something, I do it. Like, I don't need nobody. Like, just wild. Jared, thank you so much. You became a YouTube member. Cheers, buddy. Joy became a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Joy. Janet, YouTube member. Moto is BK the International Man of Murder. Like, there's absolutely no one else. What else will they try to pin this guy with? Yeah. It really stuck out to me because of the whole when it was all it's being alleged that, Brian Kober is all homophobic or whatever, anti-gay or whatever the hell he is. Noel, hi, love. Gifted 10 to the transparency memberships. You're a sweetheart. So I'm saying I don't want people out there I don't think that anybody should ever engage in mass anything. I don't think you should engage in mass media. I don't think you should engage in mass orgies. Anything with the word mass. Mass. I just, like, that word, blah. Like, so I have no idea why their page got taken down. I have no idea. I don't have any idea. But I do know that the Gonsalves' daughter, sister, niece, aunt, cousin, friend was murdered. And they have the right to their opinions. The only time you don't have your right to your opinion is when you start impeding on somebody else's rights. And other than that, I mean, And that would be, you know, through action, through acts, through, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're promoting hate speech, but like I said, I'm not in there. I don't know. I don't monitor people. I don't fucking know everything that everybody does. I don't have time. Jesus, I don't even know how people, yeah, sorry. I will say I think the biggest thing that caught me off guard is when someone said that Ann Taylor in some type of way was being threatened. How the fuck are you going to go at my girl? Like, get the fuck out of here. I like took that really personally. I was like, who's going at Ann Taylor? I was like, you got to go through TNT. I don't think that people should say nasty things about Steve Gonsalves. I don't think that people should say nasty things, period. I think people should be more doers versus sayers, man. If we had more doers in this country, fuck, man. So. Turquoise. I can't stand Ann Taylor. Why? You don't even know Ann Taylor. That's the other thing. How could you not know somebody? If I don't know you, I don't have an opinion about you. Like, I mean, be real, right? I just don't understand how people have the word even hate. Like, I don't know. How do you hate something that you don't, how do you hate someone you don't know? How do you hate someone you never met? Hate's a very, very, there you go. I can't stand. There you go. That's how you say it. I can't stand Spanky. There you go. I didn't say hate. I didn't say that you did say hate. There's a lot of other people in here, Turquoise. 900 of them. Ann Taylor is 100% defending her client. I agree. Just like I think the Gonsalveses are defending their honor of their child, right? I think everybody, if you don't know when you cross a line, then you should shut the fuck up. You should not move your mouth. You should not move your mouth. You should not move your body. If you don't know how to behave and how to truly, like, you know, when you cross the line, you break. People know. But I just, what the fuck? I hate my own self at times. I think that's allowed. I hate, man. I appreciate that you did stick up a little for that matter, that their children is gone forever. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've always stuck up for the Gonsalves family when it's come to, like I said, I could disagree with you all fucking day, or I can have different opinions of you. But that does not mean, I mean, I know right from wrong. And I think that if anybody, I say it all the time, I don't think anybody should be attacking people's families that their kid was murdered. I mean, like, what but at the same time, just because your kid's murdered doesn't give you a fucking free pass to do whatever the fuck you want. You have to, like, respect that part. You know, you just, you know, you give more grace. Okay. But you're not going to also abuse the grace that you're given. So, I don't see that, though. I wish that they didn't talk to such fucking idiots. I mean, I think Chris McDonough was a fucking idiot. I think that their choice of interviews are, I mean, Steve's way more fun than that. Come on, Steve. Christy's more fun than that. Like, could you see them at the bar, like with me, you know, hanging out, talking about football, or with Chris? Give me a break. We all know. Thank you all. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll be back on Sunday night. We got you. Nothing but love. I love you, Murky. Murky, you're such a sweetheart. Why would you take that really personally? Who would take what personally? I hope you would take it as a joke. Are you talking about being interviewed by Chris McDonough? Is that even his name? Muffy, you should feel so privileged that you can even comment in my fucking chat. That's how much I believe in First Amendment. Tell the others to come on out for their kids. Who? Oh, LR, thanks. Thanks, Lynn. How much love? Oh, yes. Awesome. I would agree, Snoopy, just because you're in pain doesn't give you the right to hurt others. Absolutely. Absolutely. Boston, good night. Where you headed? Sleep tight. Where you going, girl? Stay on this side of the dirt for as long as possible, y'all. This is the good dirt. How do you like someone you don't know, someone you never met? Say like them? I don't think, if I don't know you, I don't know you. I don't think you should have an opinion either way. I think there's better words than the word like. Who would ever, oh, I like them. You can respect them, you could value them, you could admire somebody that you don't know, you can respect somebody that you don't know. You can think highly of somebody that you don't know. You could support somebody that you don't know. Yeah. I think we all have to remember that the same it becomes really hypocritical when you want the law and the process to work for you, okay? But you don't want to uphold the laws and the process, right? You want to be able to use the death penalty, right? That comes with using the process correctly. And so, no, you don't get to use the death penalty or any penalty if you don't use the process correctly. Okay? That's where I think things become hypocritical. Let's all hear it for the noise complaints. Let's all hear it for the noise complaints. You know what tonight needs? Tonight needs one. You guys know I'm a big, huge, if I want to laugh, I just turn on JLR Investigates, Idaho4. And it's 8 hours ago, Gonzalez family targeted. Brian Kober threat. Idaho breaking news. He's my guys.
Kohlberger, Moscow, Idaho.
Watch this. Ready?
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Breaking news, breaking news. JLR investigates, boots on the ground. Emergency live. Brian Kohlberger, Moscow, Idaho.
Emergency
Case.
live.
Come on in, folks. Titled the video, Gonzalez family being targeted. You see it right here. Gonzalez family being targeted by Brian pro-burgers out there who have specifically targeted them and got their Facebook page taken down. Oh my goodness, folks, come on in. This is a big deal because the Gonzalez family, as some of you might or might not know when it comes to the Brian Kohlberger Moscow, Idaho case, they have a Facebook page that is honored, giving respect to the 4 victims, honoring them, sharing photos of the victims. And the Brian Kohlberger trolls reported the page to Facebook, and Facebook took the page down. They did a mass reporting, and now they're bragging about it.
Who?
All over threads on Reddit. Brian Kohlberger threads. Let me wait till this
Who's
light
bragging
turns
about
green.
it?
All right, we are on the move.
What
Come on
sick
in.
bastards.
Come on in. We have to have a conversation about the Brian Kohlberger Moscow, Idaho case. This is shameful and disgusting that even Facebook would even do this to a victim's family.
Those fuckers
Trolls
at Facebook, man. I
have
tell you what.
colluded together and said, let's report the Gonzalez family. We hate Steve Gonzalez. We hate the Gonzalez family because they're so speaking out on the Brian Kohlberger case. So what did they do? They all reported their Gonzalez family page. Go check it out right now while we're live. It's not there. It is gone.
It is absolutely gone.
The Gonzalez family Facebook page that had tens of thousands of followers is gone. And I am told the reason why it's gone is it was mass reported for impersonation.
Impersonation.
So, Facebook pages, there's a little dots on those Facebook pages, and you click on the dots and you can report a page. I'm sure a lot of people report my YouTube account. A lot of people that have YouTube accounts, Twitter.
He's like, I'm sure everybody reports you. JLR, I've never reported you. Mass report. You guys, just so you know, that's against terms of service. So if the Gonzalez's want their account back up, I'll be happy to show them how to do that. Because I believe that is absolute fucking bullshit. What a bunch of pussies that need a mass report. Like I told you, mass needs to be excused from people's vocabulary. Mass media. Mainstream. Maine needs to go to fuck all these M's. But I mean, come on. Mass reporting someone's YouTube channel. How about if you feel like they're like, oh my God, if you feel like they're a threat to a person, why wouldn't you call the police? What the fuck is reporting a Facebook page going to do? You know how stupid that is? Oh, way to go, guys. I just reported a fucking Facebook page. I got to take it down. Why? Oh, because I saw these threats. Oh, that's what you did? Oh, okay. You saw threats, but you fucking went to Facebook and deactivated a Facebook account versus calling the goddamn police. What a bunch of fucking dumbasses. Anybody that reported that page, I think should go Key West boomerang themselves. But no, seriously, if you thought if something was wouldn't you just go to the police? I don't get it. What the fuck's Facebook gonna do? Go to the courthouse, file a fucking civil. If you're being so, file something civilly. What the fuck?
Accounts. There's always people on the other side that don't like what you're saying, and they'll say, "I'm going to report them. I'm going to report and shut their page down because I don't like their messaging or I don't like what they have to say, whatever like that." That's exactly what they did to the Gonzalez family. They targeted them, but they've been targeted before numerous times. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics exactly what happened about this. Now, we posted this last night on my Twitter account at JLR Investigates.
Google it.
With literally screenshots of these pro burgers, and they're on the Reddit threads because there's Brian Kohlberger groups, literally bragging and talking about shutting the page down. Finally, it says, finally, what does it say here? Finally, this trash can be removed from a Facebook group.
Finally, it has happened to me right in front of my man, and I just cannot find it. Finally! Dude, can you see me and JLR doing the meatloaf duet like on karaoke night. Can you guys see us? Can you guys see us do it? Finally. Tell me.
Good riddance. Whether it was for spreading false info, constantly lying on national TV, or trying to profit off his daughter's death to pump, I guess, some sort of coin, it's unclear, but a win and a justice for all. And they attached basically their report that they made to Facebook. So they're the ones that did it.
Who?
Don't get it twisted. We removed.
Don't you be getting them pubes twisted, okay? No pube twisting here.
Remove the page you reported for violating community standards. We reviewed the page and found that it goes against our community standards. They reported the page for impersonation. I'm told. Trust me. My sources are legit. They reported the page.
I know. Steve's probably a source on this one. I cannot. JLR, what is going on? Where are you? Where is Magnolia? We need her driving that vehicle. God, me and JLR just need to do a couple lives together in that car. Look at that's like got 3 seats back there. What kind of vehicle? What is that a minivan? Is he driving a minivan?
For impersonation, mass reporting. So what does Facebook do? They take down a page.
I agree.
That is honoring the.
What a bunch of pussies Facebook is. I tell you what, Jonathan Lee, I totally agree with you.
In the chat because they're following the P. Diddy Combs trial. Do you recognize this guy?
What?
Because if you put this guy's face next to P. Diddy Combs, everyone's going to know who P. Diddy Combs is. And a lot of Americans are not going to know who Brian Kohlberger is.
Really?
They impaneled a jury for the P. Diddy Combs case in a matter of days. Meaning, it's
a federal case.
One of the most recognizable figures in history currently in the United States. P. Diddy.
My mom would not know who P. Diddy is. I mean, she would know the name, but there is no way that she would recognize him. And he looks like straight trash right now, JLR, so I completely disagree. No one's going to recognize him. They have to refer to him as his government name. Okay.
He's in trial for racketeering. Now, they got to impanel a jury, right? They got to impanel a jury. Everybody knows about Diddy. Everybody. And that has been.
Everybody knows about them freak offs.
An excuse to get this thing delayed. Now, we started out at the beginning of this case, ladies and gentlemen. And do you remember at the very beginning of this case when Mr. Kohlberger got arrested in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, Monroe County? Mm-hmm. He had a public defender named Jason LaBar. Remember Jason LaBar? Mm-hmm. And I'll always remember LaBar saying he's anxious to waive over his extradition so he can get out to Idaho and get this case over with quickly, right? He said it like, okay, I'm going to waive the extradition. I'm going to go over to Idaho and I'm going to get a speedy trial because I'm so innocent and get this over with.
Yeah, his rights were violated, John. His rights were violated. He shouldn't have ever had to pick between his 2 constitutional rights. They were running dual. And I wish that the state would have given him the discovery. I mean, do you know how long it took him to get his phone? So he could give it to like an expert, you know? I usually just thought that you usually arrest somebody after you get the evidence, you know, that proves that they did it. But now, that's not how the state works, guys. That's not how a lot of states work. They just did the probable cause and then, you know, probable cause for quad harm, huh?
That hasn't happened. And you know that. And we're now 2.5 years into this.
Mm-hmm.
I have Hippler handle this case all the way from the top. Hippler is, to be honest, people probably controlling Hippler too. Would he go contrary to this? I doubt it. The only thing Hippler has done for Kohlberger in this case is grant him his family to be able to attend the trial. That's the only thing I see favorable that Kohlberger has.
I know that's why he's going to be appealed, and it's going to be sad because I think he's got a lot of grounds. And this leak, what do you think about this leak, JLR?
In this case whatsoever. Let's get Magnolia in the chat. I want to
Mhm.
talk.
Let's get that girl. Where I knew it. I told you. Where's Magnolia? Give me.
They do that. They do that on purpose. It's to poison the jury pool. It's to sow doubt in the prosecution's case among the public, among the potential jurors, things like that. Now, she made a big deal about how they couldn't get a fair trial in Moscow because Brian is so special and his case is so special and so unique. We can't possibly get a fair trial in Moscow, so we had to move it to Boise. And now it's still a problem because according to Ann Taylor, Brian Kohberger is the most special defendant that we will ever see. Everything about him is special. His case is special because there's lots of media attention. And, you know, like this is the narrative she keeps going with. And like you said before, Diddy is one of the most famous people in the world. And they got the jury seated in 5 days flat.
Yeah.
You know, Karen Reed took about 20 days. All right, guys. That's how I like to end my night. Just wow. You know, I know this is how I feel. Me and JL are total opposite on this case, right? He feels I said I don't know if Brian Kohberger is innocent or guilty. I can tell you that what I see right now is I see things not being done. Things haven't been done fairly. Things haven't been done by the book. We got leaks. We got probable cause affidavits that are just complete fucking lies. We got hella problems. And I... You know, JLR, you know that Donald Trump wouldn't be okay with this if he was a defendant right now in his situation. Okay. He didn't like when he was getting roughhoused around and treated unfairly. So, just a straight shooter right across the board. As soon as you give me the evidence that tells me that Brian Kohberger did it, or Brian Kohberger, hey, he was definitely involved. Because I'm still of the opinion that I don't know if one person did this. So even you got Brian over here. Well, who else? Who else you got? Because you're gonna need to go get more. Because I'm also of the opinion I have a big old problem with Idaho. I have a big old problem with the integrity. I have a big problem with the leadership in law enforcement in Idaho. I've seen it firsthand with the Moore case, and the same fucking people investigated this case. And it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, these people shouldn't even be tying their own tennis shoes, let alone investigating a case. They're that bad. You know, last time I checked, Brian Kohberger has two feet, and there's just one Van print shoe. What? You know, the surviving roommates didn't call 911 for 9. I'm just, you guys all know it. So go back to the beginning, and Ann Taylor needs to pound to the jury, where is this magical car from 4/19 until whenever? You're telling me that they knew about this car immediately. They had time, boom, boom. Why aren't you going out there and searching all these exit points to get that car, to find that car? Think about it. That car never leaves Moscow. They don't have that car leaving Moscow. So who cares where Brian Kohberger's phone pings at whatever time? You don't have that car coming into Moscow, and you don't have that car leaving Moscow, Idaho. You're suspect vehicle 1. So, okay, guys, good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Much love. Peace. Peace. We're going to be talking about Katie some more. Do your homework. Look into the Katie case. Who the fuck could have killed Katie? Who did Katie have a problem with? Do you guys think that Katie was killed by a serial killer? Do you think it was a crime of opportunity? I would never think a person with a dog would be a crime of opportunity. I would never take on a person with a dog that's a pit bull and a lesbian. Fuck no way. Who's Katie? God, gotta get with it. What do you guys think? Know a homeless person? Interesting. Do you think it would have been somebody that was wigging out? I think a homeless person would have gotten caught by now. What do you think? What do you think? I think it was a disgruntled drunk person on a Tuesday night. Interesting. I think it was targeted. I think it was really interesting that she was about to go and leave and go see her mom. It's a very interesting piece of the puzzle. I wonder if her mom would talk to me. Because if that was happening, why was she going home? Why wasn't she going with her girlfriend? Also, maybe somebody wanted to be with Katie's girlfriend, and so they took out Katie. The dogs and lesbians, stay away. My top 3 is it could be a hate crime. But who? Just somebody that's like, I'm gonna go out and kill a gay person? I don't know. There would be more suspicious video if it was a homeless person, and the carving is not appropriate. Yep. What year was it? 2021. Okay. Email me if you find anything good. It's a really good case. And I'm putting time into it. Katie deserves justice. I wonder if Katie wore a watch. Katie was an iPhone user. All right, guys. Good night.